Again, this was budgeted in our CIP project. The request today is to allow the manager to enter into a contract with our current bidder, which was through an informal bid process, a Charlotte-based general contracting company, which has over 75 years of contract construction experience. We believe that they are our most responsible bid, and the bid came in at $75,566.
Any questions for the chief? And this is in the budget?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Okay.
Make a motion?
Yes?
I can make a motion that we instruct the manager to go ahead and sign a contract with D3 Construction LLC for $75,566.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Mr. Urban?
Just a real, I would have liked a little diagram because I'm a visual kind of guy. But I'm assuming that in these construction documents or whatever, you're taking all these new walls up to the underside of the deck and sealing it off, so everything you put up is not something someone can pop a ceiling tile and go up and over?
Correct, and it will also include ballistic protection.
Was my next question, so thank you very much.
It will be ballistic wallboard as well as ballistic pass-throughs.
Okay, and I can tell you that the reason for that budget, it would seem high in a normal upfit situation, but that ballistic material is extremely expensive.
Each wallboard, according to the quote, was somewhere around $650 to $700 for a 4x8.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions or discussion? All right, all those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Next item is 11F, drill tower construction. Chief Kindenberg.
Good evening, council. You have the memo. The memo's on the board. Training is a hallmark of Matthews Fire Department. Any efficient fire service must train effectively in a realistic environment. Currently, we are locked in a two-dimensional training environment, length and width, that's it. We can throw ground ladders up against the side of the fire station, but we can't climb up on the roof, we can't vent the roof, we can't climb through the windows, and the opportunity to find an existing structure to do that is very rare. So we propose to purchase an affordable drill tower. That's the name of the company that we hope to purchase the tower from. The tower is a galvanized steel scaffolding-based structure. It is listed as a 3-story tower, which is the minimum to meet ISO facilities training requirements, but it has 5 platforms. It looks similar to the one in the center, and we propose to put it behind Fire Station 1 in the red shaded area. Talked to Jay Camp. The fire station's already a non-conforming use in a residential area. This continues the non-conforming use. We would continue to abide by the same training limit practices, no noise after 9 o'clock. The drill tower does not exceed the height of the existing fire station. It is not covered by the IBC. This is an OSHA tower. It's not for human habitation, and it's not an occupied structure, so we don't have to do a lot of permitting. We've talked to CJ and Susan. They appear comfortable with the direction we're going. The request is to enter into a contract with Affordable Drill Towers for an amount not to exceed $85,000. We do have a quote for less than that, but we want to be able to account for some contingencies. Windsor Run, when that project came on board, Windsor Run agreed to dedicate $20,000 per building as they pull the building permits. Currently, we have $112,000 in the Windsor Run account, so we recommend using that to definitely enhance the capability of the fire department. And talking to Chief Pennington, his SWAT guys would love to climb all over this as well. Public Works, sure, anybody.
Mr. Melton?
I can make a motion to approve the purchase and installation of a drill tower at Fire Station 1 not to exceed $85,000 using Windsor Run funds, which were dedicated for fire and EMS, and have been identified to fund this project as per memo from Chief Kinneberg dated September 16, 2019.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, all those opposed, motion carries unanimously.
Thank you,
Chief.
Council.
Okay, the next item, 11G, is consider installation of security cameras at Town Hall. And Tanya, are you going to tell us about this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this memo's from several different people, so.
Yeah, so earlier this year, we conducted a security assessment of Town Hall. And in this memo, we are asking you to approve phase 1 of those security measures, which include adding cameras to Town Hall, as well as security buttons in a couple of key places throughout the facility, and also to upgrade the current alarm panels that are in place. We're proposing to do this with Sonatrol, the current security company that we use in this building. We did reach out to another vendor who also has security throughout the town. We feel that Sonatrol was the most responsible bidder, and it also decreases the cost because they're already currently monitoring our system, and a lot of their stuff is already in place in the building.
Mr. Melton.
Tanya, the $556 monthly monitoring fee of the cameras, in the event that a year or two down the road we become dissatisfied with Sonatrol, is there anything proprietary in nature that would prevent us going to a CPI or an ADT or et cetera without having to swap out equipment? Are we locked into Sonatrol?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Miller?
Thank you. Same topic. With the recording of all cameras going to a DVR-based cloud, or even if it was local, what does that monthly expenditure get us?
Do you have the?
The monthly expenditure is predominantly for the monitoring of those cameras. So there are personnel with Sonatrol who are monitoring those cameras, and it's the all the alarm systems being in place and all of that. So that's predominantly what it's paying for.
Okay. Mr. Urban?
So are these fees in line with other commercial type structures and buildings? I mean, it's kind of shocking to think about someone's monitoring this for $556 a month. And I guess my next question would be is, what does that mean in terms of something does happen? How does our police department interact from that aspect of it? And I guess to sort of Commissioner Melton's point is that somewhere down the road, is it possible that the town's monitoring its own buildings and stuff like that? Could we roll into that effect as well? So, but is 556 at the sort of bureaucratic rate, or?
I think Chief Pennington's going to address.
If you don't mind. If you think about monitoring, the police department does not have the staff or the opportunity to monitor as this company will. I was involved in part of this with the rest of fire department and Public Works, and we talked to the company that if and when an alarm does go off or a situation does occur, the police department has full access to it. We can log into it from our crime analysts when they come on board. We can be viewing it at the same time they are, but the monitoring solution is because we don't have the staff to do it 24 hours a day. We're currently monitoring entirely too many cameras inside of our communications center to actually monitor, if you will. Something happens, we can revert back to it, but this monitoring cost, as we understood it, was they were going to monitor it for us and then notify us so that we could go up on the cameras if necessary.
Well, let me play devil's advocate, just for the sake of argument. From a citizen sitting in the room saying, well, why should this building have far greater protection than, say, my home, which has CPI, and someone comes over and says, hey, are you okay? And you go, no, blah, blah, blah. Where's the delta? Because we're a building full of lots of occupants, or, I mean, how do we?
We're also of a different threat level than
Okay.
a regular
That's what I
home
wanna
would
hear.
be. The threat level here is much greater, requiring the expenditure of this amount of funds that you wouldn't see at a home either. So the threat level is different, which is why we place a police officer as necessary to kind of monitor.
Mr. Miller?
Thank you. Being a property manager, I have multiple cameras on about 17 acres, and it goes to a DVR-based recording system. A couple things come to mind. When was the last time something serious happened here? Or, okay, let's say someone throws a brick through a window or steals from a car in the parking lot. The reality of catching them live versus, hey, we noticed this window was broken, or the car window was broken and the laptop was stolen. You work on that the following day off of the DVR and taking snippets rather than, someone picking up a phone or whatever the reaction would be from them. I find the 550 a little high on a monthly basis. I don't mind the purchase, but I find it a little high.
I would also ask you to look at a greater level. We're not talking about car break-ins, which is our concern. Virginia Beach didn't think that they had any issues prior to their concerns either. So I would just ask you that remember the area that we are talking about securing. We're talking about hardening targets in today's day and age, and this is what we are doing, trying to harden a target. Same concept with police departments as we are with town hall, as we are should we have water treatment facilities, those type of things. So again, I'm just putting it out there that maybe we look at it at a broader perspective than just monitoring similar to a, apartment complex.
Mr. Melvin?
Thank you, Mayor. As someone who's considered a subject matter expert on it and 23 years' experience, you're not sitting someone in front of a monitor. Typically, what happens is you identify a period of time between 9 p.m. and 8 a.m. And if motion is detected by that camera during that time frame, it alerts the attendant to look at that monitor as they're calling police, and they can give them a description: 6 foot, 250, white male, blue jacket. He's who you're looking for. And it's not necessarily to sit and wait for somebody to walk in front of that camera or to throw a brick. It's to be able to, upon motion or upon detecting something, it lets you know what you're looking for.
Me leaving a meeting, 6
Every
foot,
now and
250.
Mr. Urban?
And I don't have a problem with that whatsoever, because I just want the chief of police to stipulate that this is what we're about and trying to do, because someone's going to leave this room or someone's going to get word of this in the town and say, well, why don't we just have CPI? And the point is that right now, we're protecting not only us on the dais, but the folks in here. We're protecting the library during the day, staff, hundreds of people, children, kids, coming, going, whatever, from that aspect of it. So my follow-up question is what percentage is the library paying?
They have not been approached. Our focus was upstairs. Is the building, I guess, I'm sure we'll do the front lobby. We've got some cameras outside too. They will reap the benefits of this, but they're not having any cameras inside their building like we are.
But I would, in terms of talking about CAM fees and charges, I think we need to have that discussion with them, because if they are reaping the benefit of it, there should be some allowance for them to partake in that.
How many cameras are outside the building? Does anybody know? It's tough. Do you know? We can find that out. I can explore that.
I mean, it does benefit them, I mean, obviously. And they may come back and say, can we not expand the program in light of what they do with other areas? But they are a tenant in our building, and I don't think that's an unreasonable ask. We greatly appreciate their participation here.
So given the discussion that we've had and the action item to talk with the library, do we want to defer this to first meeting in October?
I don't know that we need, in my opinion, I don't think I need to defer it. I think we
Okay.
can make a decision.
All right,
I think we're just asking for additional information.
all right.
So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the, I reckon I need to say the $34,864.37 one-time cost, plus $556 monthly for monitoring, for a total of $39,868.37 for fiscal year 1920 for security measures.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor? All those opposed? Mr. Miller, did you vote for or yes?
I'm a little undecided. I like the idea of deferring it myself. I think the library needs to pay their way.
Okay, but you got to vote one way or the other on the motion.
I'll vote for it.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries unanimously.
Substitute motion next time, Jeff.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, the next item is the budget ordinance amendment that's required in order to move this money. So we need a motion on that.
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Even though we made the motion on the security cameras, I think it is appropriate for us to go to the library and ask those questions too.
Correct. So we've given that direction to the manager. Yep. All right, the next item, 11H, consider revisions to personnel policy. Tanya? I will start out by saying that we did spend our time this evening at 5:30 going through the changes, and so the board has been briefed on this.
Yes, sir. So as I told you after the 5:30, I did go back and update the memo. That's what's being passed to you right now to incorporate the changes that we discussed at the 5:30.
Okay, do we have a motion? Or excuse me, do we have any questions first? Do we have a motion, Mr. Urban?
Yeah, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion. Before I do that, I'd like to thank Tanya for all her hard work and staff's work on this personnel policy. It may seem extremely mundane to us, but it's really critical in the operation of the town. And I think also the fact that you've beefed up the military leave aspects of these things and more community outreach. So I think there's some really nice benefits in here from the aspect of sort of going a little bit more outside of thinking of the box from that standpoint. So I'm going to go ahead and we motion to approve the proposed personnel policy with the recommended changes for sections 3.18, sick leave, and 3.19, paid school community support leave, to be effective November 3rd, 2019, as outlined in the memo dated September 23rd, 2019 by Tanya McGovern, our HR Director.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. Any discussion?
One public item.
Mr. Melton?
In the spirit of what Commissioner Urban just said, Hazen's staff, Hazen, Becky, Tanya did a fabulous job explaining this to laypersons. I'm not an HR expert, but you guys made it very easy and very clear to understand and did a fantastic job explaining it and if you would, translating it for us laypersons who don't understand. So very nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Melton. Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Tanya. Next item is the mayor's report. I have a few things. Last Wednesday, we had the Covenant Day Heroes Breakfast, and it was well attended by our Matthews Fire and EMS. It gave the kids an exciting opportunity to watch the fire truck light up and take off. And we also had a number of the Matthews police officers there. They also had State Highway Patrol and CMPD. And perhaps the highlight of the whole morning was the new CMPD helicopter coming in and landing there at Covenant Day. So really exciting day for the kids, and they did a great job with their program. And certainly appreciate Covenant Day recognizing the folks that go out every day and put their life on the lines for all of us. Next thing is Art Fest. That's this coming Saturday. It will be out here in front of Town Hall, just a reminder of that. And then earlier, Carol Hambridge was talking about the event from 5 to 8 on Saturday as well to view the new mural and maybe have a glass of something and something to eat and just enjoy the town atmosphere. So that's all I have. Attorney's report,
No report, Mayor.
manager's report.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor, I do have one thing. So on the, for the RNC, the things you guys approved, about $84,000 with, one of the things that was left off purposely was the retaining wall. And last week, myself, live Commissioner Miller, met with the owners, the Fullers, and talked about the retaining wall. They own the property right behind them. Who else met? Oh,
It's okay. It's all right.
Becky? Who did I miss? Jeff? Did I miss
Might have been
anybody?
Urban.
Urban. It was John.
Oh, Commissioner Urban, sorry. So, we talked with the Fullers, they understood what we were trying to get to, is some kind of improved, that's not safe right now, and what can we do? And it would invariably go back into their property. They seem to be open to different ideas. So you guys did appropriate some money for design, some design work, so that we can look at options, come back to this board with your thoughts, also go back to the Fullers to make sure, you know, they're together, we're in this together. So it was a productive meeting.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We are now adjourned.
Good meeting.
Yeah. Get home before midnight. You know?
Yeah, really.